and then we need to understand what is the process being involved. Okay, so as an author, because this particular webinar we are going to concentrate.
And when you talk about the research question, how to write a good research question, the good research question would make
you can enjoy with this journey to benefit from this ChatGPT. Actually,
Greetings to all the participants. Greetings to all the participants present here on behalf of Quvae Research and Publications. I would like to welcome you all for the webinar on enhancing teaching through understanding learner psychology. To start with, let me give you a brief introduction about Quvae Research and Publications. Quvae serves as a platform to publish research articles in prominent journals and conferences proceedings. We assist authors in publishing the research findings in high impact factor journals, promoting the work, enhancing their reputations, and building a strong scientific profile. Among several indexing databases, Scopus is one of the most preferred for publishing articles. The wide recognition and impact of these journals makes them highly valued in their academic careers. We have recently collaborated with the Scopus Q1 journal, that is FN1000 Research, published by Taylor and Francis. The authors can now easily submit their articles through our partnered gateway with FN1000. FN1000 Research is an open research publishing platform for scientists, scholars, and clinicians that offers rapid publication of articles and other research outputs with editorial bias. All articles benefit from transparent peer review and editorial guidance on making all source data openly available. Now I would like to welcome our speaker, Dr. Rani Gul, is serving as assistant professor at the University of Malakand, KPK, Pakistan. She has been in the field of teaching for the last 13 years. She has served in different academic and administrative positions and has vast teaching learning experience at both national and international level. Her research spans a wide range of issues covering different domains of educational psychology, linguistics, curriculum, pedagogy, teacher education, science education, etc. She has published 45 research articles, one book, and two book chapters in renowned international journals. Once again, we welcome you, Doctor. Is it audible? Doctor, is it audible?
Hello.
Hello, doctor, is it audible? Can
Yes,
you hear
yes,
me?
yes. I'm hearing you. Please confirm my voice is clear.
Sorry, doctor.
My voice is clear. Please confirm.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, doctor, you may start now.
Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to extend my Thanks to the organization who give me this opportunity to present my thoughts, my research, and my knowledge on the title, which is the title of this webinar today. Um, as, First of all, I would like to share you the screen. I hope so. The screen is visible to all the participants who are sitting in the webinar. Please confirm.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you
Doctor,
so
is
much.
it visible?
Okay, thank you. The title of the webinar is Enhancing Teaching Through Understanding Learner Psychology. And before formally starting the session, I would like to extend my pleasure and welcome all my participants who got some time and are available in the session. I also look forward to a very dynamic and enriching session. The title is Understanding Learning Psychology, and how can we use this psychology, all the knowledge which we are discussing in the session, how can we use is it in making our teaching more effective in our classes. So the understanding learning psychology is very much crucial for effective teaching because it directly impact the various aspects of teaching learning process and which ultimately lead to students engagement, students learning outcomes, and overall classroom dynamics. Keeping in mind all these barrier factors, I have prepared this outline for the session. In first slides, we will have a sight on that why we as a teacher have to understand the learner psychology. Then we will have a look at the different learning theories, the key ideas which I have taken from those learning theories. And then we will have a look at some of the laws of learning and some tier intervention models which the teachers may implement in their classes once they face issues with the students, with the diverse students. And then we will, at the end, we will discuss some of insights for effective teaching. And these insights are actually taken from all these theories which we are discussing in the seminar, as well as some of the recent research studies conducted on this area, that how students can learn best. So as we know that learning is a very complex and a very multifaceted phenomena which is influenced by various factors such as cognitive factors, social factors, cultural factors, and individual factors. So studying the different theories who have highlighted all these factors which may affect the learning process is very much important for us to understand that the very complex teaching learning process. Here I have given some of the major areas that how understanding of the different learning theories can benefit us. It help us to understand, it help us to build a very comprehensive understanding of the learning process, because you know that not a single theory can fully explain the complexity of human learning. And each of the theory which we are discussing today, it offers a unique perspectives and focus on different aspects of the learning process. So by studying these multiple theories, the teachers and all those students who are educators can develop a more comprehensive understanding of how learning occurs. Another important benefit we can get from the session is that we know that each theory of the learning operate at different levels of analysis. And for example, some of the behavioral theory talk about the behaviors perspectives of the learning, while the cognitive theories talk about the memory focus on internal mental processes, and some also analyze the social component while they are relating it to the learning. So understanding and discussing the theories help us to analyze the different levels. Another a very important factor for studying the different theories of learning is that it gives practical application for the teaching and for instructional design. For example, behaviorist principles of reinforcement and punishment can inform classroom management strategies, while cognitive theories of memory can guide instructional techniques for promoting effective encoding and retrieval of information. So understanding these various theories can help the teachers to come up with a range of strategies to meet the diverse learning needs of the students. Another big importance of the for discussing the theories is that these studies, that these theories fosters innovation and advances in the field of education and psychology, because researchers mostly draw on the insights from different theories to develop new hypotheses, to design experiments, and to generate knowledge. They can directly improve teaching learning process and can enhance the students' learning outcomes. Besides, the last but not the least, learning, understanding the different psychologies of learning may help us to understand the diverse backgrounds of the learners who possess different unique abilities, who have different experiences, and who have different learning styles. So no single theory can address the needs of all the learners in all contexts. So by considering these multiple theories, educators can better accommodate the diverse needs and preferences of their students. Now, we are going to start with the first theory that was very emerging, even though this theory have received much of the criticism. But in spite that, in our daily routine teaching, especially at school level, this theory is practiced. Behaviorism concept gives us two major approaches for teaching learning process. One is of the reinforcement, and another is of the punishment. Okay, Ji, let me choose the pointer. Okay, Ji. So one is the reinforcement, and another approach that the teachers can get benefit of from this perspective is of the punishment. This theory states that a human can be trained to produce certain behavior in response to some certain stimulus. And the more often the response is stimulated, the stronger will be the training. The reinforcement is an approach which has again further types, and reinforcement always increase the likelihood of a desired behavior. The reinforcement has two types. One is positive reinforcement and another is negative reinforcement. Positive reinforcement involves the addition of a stimulus which follow a desirable behavior. In simpler term, we can say that it's like giving a reward when someone does something right, which encourage them to do it again. For example, if we reward a student an extra point, if the student attempt an assignment in a very outstanding way, then this will increase his conduct and other students as well follow the same conduct, and they will do more hard work and efforts in assignment in doing their assignments for this extra point. In negative reinforcement, behavior is strengthened by removal or avoidance of an unpleasant stimulus. For example, if a student constantly complete their homework to avoid the negative consequences of receiving a detention, the behavior of completing homework is reinforced through negative reinforcement. So the removal of the potential detention serve as a reinforcement for the behavior of completing homework. This negative reinforcement is again, this occurs in two forms, one in the form of escape and another in the form of active avoidance. Escape occurs when a behavior results in the termination of an ongoing unpleasant stimulus, while the active avoidance occur when a behavior is performed to prevent or avoid the consequences of an unpleasant stimulus. And here I would give a very easy example for escape. For example, if a person turns off a noisy alarm or some lights to stop the annoying sound or to stop the annoying light, they are engaging in escaping behavior. While in active avoidance, for example, if someone puts on sunscreen before going outside to prevent getting sunburned, so they are engaging here in active avoidance behavior. Regarding the punishment, this approach states, the behaviorism theory states that punishment always decrease a desired behavior. For example, and this punishment again appears in two forms. One is positive and another is negative. The positive punishment occurs, for example, when a student disturbs the class by talking out of turn, and the teacher assigns the student some extra work. So the student is adding an unpleasant consequences in order for the students to behave well. So the extra homework serve as a positive punishment here. In negative punishment, a student is, for example, if a student is constantly late to the class, so the teacher deducts points from his participation grades. So the removing of a desirable stimulus from the students means that a student is receiving negative punishment from the teacher, because it removes something the students values, the students likes to be to go with. So this was about the behaviorism theory, and behaviorism theory, we can see that it's actually a match of the stimulus and response. Another big approach in terms of the learning arised was of constructivism. Constructivism theory suggests that learners construct their understanding and knowledge of the world through experiences and reflecting on these experiences. So it actually emphasizes the active participation, the inquiry, and the exploration. In a constructive approach, learners build upon their prior knowledge and experiences to create his understanding. Here you can see in the picture that constructivism leads to many of the things which fall under the category of active learning. For example, it leads to the collaboration, it leads to web learning, it develops a variety of teaching strategies for teachers, it helps in the hands-on learning for the students. It also allows for the different environment that can fulfill the needs of every student, and it also develop best practices. A very important element in the constructivism approach is that it basically rely on the metacognition concept. Metacognition concepts this state that the student should be aware of what actually he is learning. So basically, the students regulate his own learning while he's learning something. So this was the constructivism approach. Another very much important learning theory, and I would like every participant of the webinar to have some attention on this, because being a teacher, we are confronted with a lot of issues in our classroom, and mostly the teachers complains that some of the students learn very well when the teachers deliver a lecture, while some of the students show weak performance in the classroom, inside the classroom. Even though I have given a slide at the end for this case, if you are facing a problem with such diversity in your classroom, I have given a in the form of suggestion, a teaching model which the teachers can use there. But here, this theory helps us a lot for understanding the learning process, especially in terms of the weak students. This cognitive approach states that there are two types of memory that process information during the learning process. One is the short-term memory, and another is the long-term memory. The short-term memory is also called the working memory. So this is called short-term because it retains informations only for seconds, maybe for 40 seconds, 50 seconds, depends upon that how much you are actually practicing or recalling the information, or how much you are processing the information with the long term. Working memory is that part of the mental workspace where students use to actively engage with the facts, concepts, and procedures which they encounter in the classroom, while the long-term memory store this knowledge for future use. So the working memory use both the new information which they get from the sensory memories, and the long-term, the new information, and some of the information from long-term memory in the form of retrieval. Once we get some new information, when the new information, when we get the new information, it goes directly to short-term memory. Here in the short-term memory, students process this information and combine it with the knowledge, some of the knowledge recalled from this long-term memory. Working memory is limited, as I stated earlier, and can only hold information for some seconds, while it is being used or still given attention. So here at this stage, if the teachers involve the students actively inside the classroom, especially those students who are weak in their studies. So if they are involved in the classrooms actively, and the same time they are given information with their previous experiences, like if the teachers do some brainstorming activities before teaching anything to the students here, then in this case, the students will recall their previous information and they will get the new knowledge from teacher here. So it will be easy for the students to understand the new concept, and they can store it here in the long-term memory for a long time. Another very important factor is the teacher must have to recall all those information which is saved here in long-term memory in the next class in order for the students to learn them best and for the long time. Because if they do not practicize this information which is kept in long-term memory, the students may forget it after some time. You can see here that this is a building block of a block of the new information. Once it comes, it always needs to get relate with the prior knowledge which is available in the long-term memory of the students. Once the students start thinking about the new knowledge and get related to the previous knowledge, both become connected, and the students easily get the concepts. And in another class, if the teacher revised the same information which the students have gotten clear in the previous class, then this information can be retained in the memory of the mind, in the memory of the students for a long time. I have given some of the definitions here. If anybody is interested, they can have a look at the definitions. Okay, Ji, moving on to the next approach of the learning, that is humanistic theory. Humanistic approach basically talk about the different physiological need and some of the psychological needs that helps the students to feel satisfied and to learn something with a very good mental and emotional health. This theory, as you can see, here I have given the psychological needs. The psychological needs, the physiological needs. The physiological needs such as breathing, food, water, shelter, sleep, etc. These fall more within the physiological needs as described by the Abraham Maslow in his theory. But I have given it here because they are very much essential for the survival and for part of our biological makeup. Then we have the safety and security needs. This theory states that safety and security, for example, the physical safety as well as the psychological security, includes feeling secure in one's environment, and having stability and predictability in life, and having a sense of control over one's own circumstances. So when these needs are filled, individuals are better able to focus on personal growth and self-actualization. Another very much important and the basic need of the human being or the student is love and belonging. This aspect emphasizes the need of meaningful connection with others, and feeling accepted and valued by the others, especially in social relationships. As we know that human beings have an inherent desire to form relationships. and to establish a sense of community and belonging. So fulfillment of these needs foster emotional well-being, and it support personal growth and also contribute to a sense of fulfillment and happiness. Another aspect of the theory was self-esteem. Self-esteem is refers to actually the evaluation of an individual worth and value as a person. So if an individual or a student meet this need of self-esteem, they will easily get awareness of his self, and they will the students especially will practicing their self-acceptance and engage in activities that promote personal growth and development. The last, self-actualization. Individuals who are self-actualized are characterized by qualities such as creativity, autonomy, spontaneity, problem-solving ability, and a sense of a personal a purpose and a meaningful life. So, the humanistic theory, we can see teachers facilitate learning by creating a very supportive and positive environment that fosters students' intrinsic motivation, self-esteem, and self-actualization. This approach have given the unique qualities and capabilities of the learners, which promote personalized learning and individualized instruction. And by applying these principles, the teachers can inspire students to develop confidence, resilience, and a lifelong love for learning. Okay, now we are moving toward the next other some other theories, among which is the social learning theory, another very important much theory, and this theory has emphasized that people learn best when they are connected with the community. And mostly this theory rely on the observational learning and discussion kind of activities in the classroom. The experiential learning mostly proposed, this theory was proposed by David Cole, and who emphasized the importance of learning through experiences. This theory suggests that individual learns best when they are actively engaged in experiences, and they can actively reflect on those experiences and then apply their insights for their future situations. The last but not the least, we have another very much important theory of the multiple intelligence. Back in 1984, the theory was developed by Howard Gardner, and that time he proposed 7 intelligences. Later on, the intelligences gained much more increase, and it goes to 9 intelligences. And nowadays, as I was searching last days, I read in an article that a human being, the human mind have around 32 intelligences. So this means that there is not a single learning style or a single approach which the teacher should utilize inside the classroom. Rather, the teacher have come up with around 4 to 5 multiple teaching methods which can facilitate students with the different linguistics, with the different intelligences. So in this slide, if we have looked, I have taken the key ideas from all the theories. Some of the theories states that learning occurs as a result of reinforcement and punishment. Some says that learning occurs due to internal cognitive structures. Some theory states that learning is constructed through experiences as reflection. Some says that learning is happens due to some specific characteristics of the learners, and that the students their self directions plays a very important part in it. Some says that it's the direct experience and reflection on that experience. Some says that learning occurs by observation, by imitation, and by interaction with others. And some says again that there are varieties of way through which students can learn something. So after considering all these keys idea from the theories which we have discussed in these slides, I would like to ask my participants to think about for a 1 minute time and reflect on that which theory do they believe is most practiced in our everyday teaching practices. You can write your answer in the chat box if you are willing. Yes, dear participants, are you listening me?
Doctor, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I'm hearing you. Actually, I want to
Your voice is not audible, doctor.
my voice is audible.
Yes, yes, doctor.
Okay, I have asked my participants a question and I'm actually waiting for their response. Okay, Ji, I found no response from the participants, so I think I should move. So keeping in mind, my voice is clear, please confirm.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, thank you. Keeping in mind all these theories, I have found some of the laws of learning, and these laws you can see the slide. These laws actually shows us that again they reflect us that how persons learns best. The law of readiness. Law of readiness says that students learn more easily when they have a desire to learn. And conversely, if the students learn with difficulty, if they are not interested in the topic. The law of effect says that learning will always be much more effective when a feeling of satisfaction or reward is part of the process. If there is no reward or a feeling of satisfaction, the students will not learn best. The law of relaxation states that students learn best and remember longest when they are relaxed. So reducing stress during learning is very much crucial for the teacher. The law of association states that learning occurs when the mind compares a new idea with something already known. The law of involvement state that students learn best when they take an active part in what is to be learned. The law of exercise says that the more often an act is repeated or information is reviewed, the more quickly and more permanently it will become a habit and will easily be remembered as a piece of information. The law of relevance says that effective learning is relevant to a student's life. The law of intensity says that students only remember those information which are enjoyable for the learners and for which the students were excited. The law of challenge says that students learn best when they are challenged with novelty and with a variety of materials or with the new instructional strategies. The law of feedback says that effective learning takes place when students receive immediate and specific feedback on their performance. The law of recency says that practicing a skill or a concept just before using it will ensure more effective performance. The law of expectations says that students always learn something which they are when their expectations are related to the material. The law of emotion says that the emotional stage of the students will shape that how they will learn and how much they will learn. The law of difference says that students learn in different ways and that one size doesn't fit all. Okay, here I have given a slide on that if a teacher if a teacher have a classroom who have diverse learners, especially in terms of intellects, then how the teacher can tackle such diversity. Here I have given a multi-tier intervention model. The tiered intervention model are actually used in the educational setting where the teachers design it to provide varying level of support to students based on their needs. These models are typically implemented with the multi-tiered system of support framework, MTTS. Here, different tiers of intervention models commonly are utilized by the teachers, and one of the model is called RTI, response to intervention. RTI multi-tiered approach is mostly used to systematically monitor and support student progress in both academic and behavioral areas. especially for the students who have learning disabilities and who determine eligibility for special education services. Another tier intervention model is positive behavior intervention and support, PBIS. PBIS is mostly used for promoting positive behavior and preventing problem behavior in the schools. I have given a slide on the multi-tiered intervention model framework. Here you can see that students with diverse intellectual backgrounds are deal with three-tier system. In the first tier system, students are given high quality evidence-based instruction in a very general education setting. And it targets the majority of the students and aims to prevent learning difficulties. Among these students in the first year, if some of the students do not perform very well, then they are provided with another tier of instruction. Tier 2 instruction is called the target intervention. In the target intervention, students who require additional support beyond tier 1, they receive target intervention in small groups. And these small groups usually are 15% of the total students. And these interventions are more focused and intensive than the tier 1 instructions and are designed to address specific skills deficits among the learners. If at tier 2, the teachers still have some of the students left with some learning difficulties or disabilities, then they apply the third tier instructional intervention. In tier 3, students who continue to struggle despite of tier 1 and tier 2 intervention, they tier 3 intervention. And here they receive individualized and intensive support at tier 3 level. These interventions are highly specialized and tailored to the unique needs of each students. Here all the teachers try to address the learning needs of the students according to their learning styles. Okay, Ji, in the last session, we are going to discuss some of the insights from all these theories and some insights from the recent research studies which are conducted on students' learning, that how students can learn best or how students can be in effective way. So, here I have given some of the findings from the research and from the previous theories which we discussed in the earlier slides. First finding is to building upon students' prior knowledge and skills. Based on the theories and laws, this finding says that teachers should always assess students' prior knowledge at the beginning of the course or class. The kind of assessment is typically low stake with no formal grade. Instructor may also consider re-administering the assessment after instruction as a measure of learning. Another is some of the implementations here are made is the teachers can use the multiple assessment strategies because for the teacher to assess students' prior knowledge in each class, it is very much important for the teachers to use multiple assessment strategies. And these strategies may involve discussion in small groups, think, pair, share, 1 minute paper, some anonymous surveys, some instructional tools like clicker questions or handouts, and many more. The third recommendation is target misconceptions directly. Instructor has identified students' misconceptions. They can encourage students to confront their misconception and restructure their thinking. This may involve all the metacognitive strategies and or other guided activities that ask the students to analyze their own thought process and outline their grasp of an issue. Here, the teachers can conduct a variety of activities where the students can assess their own learning and give him his own feedback. Building upon the prior knowledge as discussed earlier, that after assessing students' prior knowledge and addressing the misconceptions, the instructor can do assessment to inform future instruction by connecting it what students already know with the new knowledge and understanding. The strategies might include here pointing to the upcoming classes, providing lessons or lecture roadmaps. It may include inviting reflective writing practices and some active learning activities, for example, concept map or case studies. Another great finding from the studies was that teachers should encourage metacognition in the classroom. Metacognition, as we know, it's the process of thinking about its own thinking, or reflecting on the personal habits, our knowledge, our approaches to learner. For example, if students turn in an essay assignment, after they receive the grade, they can be asked to review the steps they took to develop the assignment, identify what was the most and least effective, and consider how they could improve their writing in future assignment. So in this way, the metacognition technique can be applied during the class. Here, some of the other techniques are also suggested, which is use reflection questions. The teachers can ask the students to reflect on their own activity and arise some of the reflecting questions. For example, how did I learn it? What do I still need to learn? What I have just learned? What are the areas which have some flaws? So in such like questions, the teachers can get students' reflection. Use examination wrappers. After some assessment, the teacher should always encourage students to monitor their learning by answering questions either in class or in out of the class. For example, which study habits were least effective for my learning? Yeah, what content did I know the best? What content I'm still struggling with? So with such questions, the teachers can do this assessment inside the classroom. Incorporate metacognition into assessment and evaluation. This is already discussed in these with some of the examples in the first two recommendations. And that another suggestion for the teacher is that they should engage the students with active learning. For example, group discussion, feedback, debate, personalized opinion, etc. Okay, learning style. Learning style is always take as a myth, and people think that every individuals learn best when they are teach with his learning style, his or her learning style. But for some of the researchers, and according to some of the new research studies, this is a myth. Like some of the researchers argued, and they deny this fact that the students learns best when they are teach with their learning style. Instead, they says that students should be encouraged to use more of the resources and strategies which are rooted from cognitive and adult learning theory. So the researchers are more referring towards the cognition processes, and where, as we discussed in the last slide, where more of the repetition, focus, attention, and engagement of the students can help the students to retain the information for a long time and get the concept easily. The recommendations here made are that the teacher should make the learner differentiate between studying and learning. Studying learning styles and studying styles and learning styles both are different, and teachers should help the students to develop their preferences for reviewing content, and these practices maybe differ from deeper cognitive processes like taking a chunk from the long-term memory, or building on the prior knowledge, or making conceptual connections, but this will help a lot for the students. So the students may study with different studying style, but the learning styles, for the learning style, the teacher should rely on the cognitive process. The teacher should also make the students benefit from different kinds of instruction. If the teachers use different kinds of activities which involve the students' active engagement, it will help the students to get benefit from these instructions. Students benefit from thinking about how they learn. Research has shows that students benefit when they are given this opportunity to reflect on their own assignments, their own examination papers, and activities. That learning outcomes improve when the instructor helps the student to think about how they drew the connections, how they have made the assessment, and how they have got their grades. So this may help the students to improve their learning. Effective instructional methods can vary across discipline and course content. So the proposed learning styles do not always fit for disciplinary norms. For example, writing courses benefit from a significant verbal component, and geometry courses from visual component mostly, and lab classes from an experimental component of the learning. So instructors should always consider discipline-specific resources and instructional strategies. Social learning. Another recommendation was for the teacher was social learning. And social learning, for the social learning, the social activities help the students to work together and articulate or understanding, and to recognize their misconceptions, and to enhance communication. So the recommendations here made are to actively engage the students for learning, so they can learn through their experiences. The students should be engaged in group activities, and during the group activities, interactive lecture should be made by the teachers. The same times, the peer review activities should be done by the other students, and collaborative exams For collaborative exams, the teachers can take individual exam, but they can allow the students to sit together and appear for an assessment activity. This way, the peer assessment and will help the students to improve their performance in a more good way. Study halls, study groups, and pair teaching. The instructors are also required to meet to suggest the students and provide opportunities for the students to meet with one another or another teaching fellow and clarify the points of confusion, to review the content and to practice skills of set. Another recommendation is of inclusivity and accessibility should be given to every knowledge. Students' construction of knowledge is again another finding for teachers who want to meet the diverse needs of the students. And this in this section, the teachers are suggested to provide scaffolding to the students in the form of open lessons with the content students already know, or ask the students to perform brief exercises like brainstorming, which can make the students' knowledge publicly. The teachers can also help the students visibly organized the course contents by self-sharing the course contents to the teachers and asking the students to give feedback. The teachers should also encourage the students to make predictions and accounting phenomena by the student. Like this strategy may leave an open and environment for the students, which might be difficult for the teacher to tackle, but it encourage the students and it helps the students to rectify their misconceptions wherever they feel. The last slide is in the last slides, the last finding is presented. And this finding states that transfer of knowledge to a new context by the teacher is very much important, and the teacher should practice the transfer of one knowledge that is learned in a single context, and the teacher are advised to apply the same knowledge to another new context in order for the students to have more better experiences. Here, the teachers are recommended that they should focus on the core concepts, and whenever they are transferring the knowledge to new contexts, and they should include activities that promote deeper understanding. Besides, the teachers should compare different scenarios whenever they are applying one contextual knowledge in another context. And the teacher should always provide a clear roadmap and guidelines whenever they involve the students in activities where the students are applying the knowledge in a new context. And besides, their teachers are also advised to be explicit and open in their transferring process. So this was all about the session. Now the session is open for the question answer. If someone is interested and someone have any question, they can ask me. Thank you so much.
Now the session is open for Q&A. If there is any questions from participant sides, you may ask now. Is there any questions from participant sides? You may ask now. I hope there is no questions from participant sides. Is there any questions from participant side? If you have any questions, kindly raise your hand in the chat box.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, doctor?
Yes, I just want to thank the facilitator for this webinar. And as an educationist, I want to, considering all these theories or models that are being presented in effective learning process, I want to ask, which one do we think should be better? Or is it that we should vary all these theories to really suit the purpose of the learning process?
Okay, thank you for your question. As I stated in my session that one size doesn't fit all. It means that as a teacher, we can go with at least 2 to 3 approaches at a time in a single classroom to address the learning needs of the students. It depends that which type of students do you have in the class, whether they are average, whether they are outstanding, and with which intellectual capabilities they are sitting there. So it totally depends on this. But in my opinion, as a teacher, we can go with 2 to 3 approaches at a time. Yes, any other question?
Is there any other question from participant side? There is no question from participants, I hope. So let's wind up the session now. Thank you, doctor. That was a thought-provoking talk. Thank you for the imparting your knowledge and remarks on the concepts. Thank you once again, doctor.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I hope to have another session in the future with you as well. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. Participants will receive your certificate within 7 to 10 working days.